On an ordinary day, Cloudflare quietly changed a default setting, blocking automated bots that scrape the web for AI training. For millions of women building businesses and communities online, this was more than a technical tweak. It was a shift in power. For years, women's words, art, and expertise were harvested without consent, fueling a trillion-dollar AI industry. Cloudflare's move was a declaration. The era of unchecked exploitation must end. Suddenly, creators could reclaim control over their digital work. This essay explores the impact of Cloudflare's decision as a feminist tech milestone. We'll examine how AI scrapers exploit women's content, the effects on analytics, and why this is a victory for consent and agency. This isn't just about technology. It's about fairness, power, and the fight for a more equitable internet. The digital ground just got a little more solid for women everywhere. Cloudflare isn't a household name, but it's the backbone of the internet, protecting, speeding up, and managing traffic for millions of sites. Its decisions instantly reshaped the web for creators, small businesses, and bloggers, many of them women. When Cloudflare blocks a type of traffic, it disappears overnight for millions. This is why blocking AI scrapers was a seismic shift, not a minor tweak. For women who rely on Cloudflare for security, this was a powerful affirmation. The gatekeeper was finally defending the value of their work. Cloudflare's move set a new standard, signaling to the AI industry that the free-for-all era is over. The company's responsibility as a central pillar of the internet became clear. Protect creators, not just infrastructure. The gatekeeper is, at last, on their side. AI scrapers are bots that silently harvest content, text, images, code, from websites to train artificial intelligence. They don't ask permission, offer payment, or give credit. They just take. For women who've built blogs, art portfolios, or advice forums, this means their work is absorbed and repurposed by machines, often without their knowledge. The scale is staggering. Bots can ingest entire websites in hours, rendering creators invisible and their labor anonymous. This is exploitation, especially for women whose expertise has long been undervalued. AI companies claim it's fair use, but the power imbalance is obvious. Billion-dollar firms versus individual creators. When women share stories or advice online, it's for community, not to fuel commercial AI. Scrapers violate this social contract, turning acts of sharing into raw material for products they don't control. The digital world is accelerating an old pattern of appropriation. Cloudflare's block is a first step in breaking that cycle. The content most targeted by AI scrapers lives in the vibrant online spaces women have built: blogs, forums, creative writing, and business sites. Mommy blogs, fan fiction archives, craft tutorials, and professional advice columns are all rich sources for AI training. These are labors of love and expertise, shared for community, not for machines to mine and monetize. AI scrapers ingest entire libraries of stories, tutorials, and advice, stripping away context and credit. The result: women's voices and creativity are used to build commercial tools that can undercut their own work. Even the emotional labor of moderating communities is harvested and commodified. The pattern is clear. Women's digital spaces are plundered for their most valuable asset, their knowledge and experience. Cloudflare's block is a shield for these communities. When Cloudflare's block went live, creators saw a dramatic drop in website traffic. For years, analytics were inflated by bots, giving a false sense of audience and impact. Suddenly, the noise vanished. The data reflected reality. It was like clearing a room of chattering robots. Finally, creators could hear their real audience. Business decisions, content strategies, and community building had been based on corrupted data. Now, analytics tools showed fewer, but genuine visitors. Server logs became cleaner, and bandwidth costs dropped. For small business owners, this meant real savings and clarity. The change wasn't just technical, it restored truth to the digital world. The view outside the window was finally clear and real. With bot traffic gone, women creators could finally see their true audience. Accurate analytics became a powerful tool for business and creativity. No longer misled by bot-driven spikes, creators could focus on what their real community valued. For entrepreneurs, clean data meant smarter investments and better marketing. The end of skewed analytics restored agency. Creators were no longer flying blind. Strategic planning, authentic connection, and sustainable growth became possible. Analytics transformed from confusion to empowerment. Women could now build their digital empires on a foundation of truth. The fog had lifted and agency was restored. Cloudflare's block is a feminist milestone, challenging the exploitation of women's digital labor. The internet wasn't built with women's safety or empowerment in mind. Its defaults favored the powerful. By making scraper blocking the default, Cloudflare shifted the burden of protection from individuals to the platform. Now, women are protected by default, not just those with technical expertise. This move brings digital consent to the forefront. Harvesting content without permission is a violation. Blocking scrapers forces a public debate about ethical data sourcing and consent in AI. It recenters the value of human creation in a world saturated with AI-generated content. The block draws a line. Human creativity is not a free commodity. It's labor that deserves respect, protection, and compensation. Cloudflare's action pressures AI companies to build more equitable models. At the core is agency, the right to control your own work. For women online, AI scrapers eroded this sense of control, making their labor feel futile. Cloudflare's block restored the power to say no, making protection the default. Now, creators can choose, keep the block, or allow access on their terms. This shift from opt-out to opt-in is profound. It turns creators from passive resources into active participants. It opens the door to future negotiations, where content can be licensed, not taken. Agency means having a seat at the table, not just being on the menu. When creators feel protected, they're more likely to share their unique perspectives. For women, control over their digital work is essential for full participation online. Cloudflare's action is just the beginning of a bigger conversation about AI, creativity, and labor. If AI companies can't take data for free, how will they acquire it? New models for licensing and compensation must emerge. Women have fueled the AI revolution without pay. Now, fair compensation must be on the table. We need standards for valuing digital labor and community knowledge. Women must have a central voice in shaping these policies and technologies. Their lived experience is crucial for designing equitable systems. The future of the internet is at a crossroads: automation and exploitation, or a balanced ecosystem where technology serves creators. The switch has been flipped, but the work for a fair internet is just beginning.